Hey, what is up guys? It is Slikk here. I'm back again with another video, and I've actually got an exam tomorrow, so I should be studying for that. It's 6 o'clock at night and I'm recording this instead, but no, I just had a blast playing the 5th and final episode of Batman the Telltale Series, so I figured I would get you out a spoiler-filled review of the episode. Now, I have a ton of videos coming out for Batman the Telltale Series in the next few days. Well, in the next few days, again, I have a lot of coming up with school. It is my final week, and then I'm done for break. And over break, I do plan, by the way, to have two videos rather, up every day. Some related to Batman the Telltale Series, some related to The Walking Dead Season 3, and others related to other Batman stuff and, DC and Injustice and, all the other stuff I talk about on my channel, just basically more of it in terms of content. So hopefully if you're subscribed to me, you're not going to get too annoyed with the spam in your sub box, but I do plan to upload with a frequency that I've not done for a very long time, probably since like Arkham Knight came out. So anyway, I want to talk about Batman the Telltale Series Episode 5. So I want to save my speculation for Season 2, and I do have a lot of it, and I want to save my thoughts on Season 1 as a whole. I'll be doing videos on that in depth. Like my review of the entire first season of Batman the Telltale Series, I want it to be a big thing, like a 30-minute video, really delving into what I loved about the series, what I think they can improve on for the definite Season 2 that was most certainly teased at the end of Episode 5, and we'll talk about that a little bit in this episode as well. So that's pretty much all the housekeeping stuff I needed to cover. Let's go ahead and dive into what I wanted to talk about for the 5th episode of Batman the Telltale Series. And as I mentioned, spoilers are ahead. So the first thing that happens in this episode is we have the commissioner, and I do forget his name. Usually the commissioner of Gotham before, Commissioner Gordon is Loeb. His last name's Loeb. And this, it was somebody else. I don't remember his name. But anyway, as soon as that guy died, and we kind of knew he was going to die, and then it's like, yep, now it's Jimmy G's turn. So whenever you see any commissioner get assassinated, that's like Jimmy G's cue. It's like, okay, your turn, man. You're up next. And I love to see that, and him become the commissioner of Gotham, of the GCPD, at the end of the episode. And I really did love the end of this episode in particular, and I'll get back to that in a little bit. I do want to mention my one complaint I have with the episode. Overall, I did really love it. Solid 9.5 out of 10, 9.7 out of 10, whatever. I don't do scores, it doesn't really matter. But there is one thing that was keeping this episode from being a 10 for me, and that was the sort of like the gameplay skew that I noticed in this episode that I hadn't noticed in the other episodes. It was only a problem for this one. And it was like, I found the detective work that we did in this episode to be a little bit laborious, and I felt like it was all of the gameplay that we were doing in the episode. Now, when it comes to Telltale games, I don't really care, I don't know, some people might complain that there's not enough action, blowing stuff up or punching people, that sort of thing. And there was plenty of it in the last 10 minutes of the game, by the way. So I was perfectly okay with that. And yes, my ADD kind of is like, yes, I want to smash buttons. That's why I love Injustice and shit like that. But I didn't mind that there was not a ton of action in this episode. There just wasn't, besides the very beginning at the very end. And I'm totally okay with that. Again, I'm in it for the story. However, it is true that I found that, we were doing a lot of the detective stuff, right? Like, look through Alfred's glasses. And by the way, all of those scenes were brilliantly crafted and just like genius, just looking through the reflection on Alfred's glasses, and like Alfred and Bruce are on the same page and they're both so smart and they're like, yeah, I got you, man. And that shit's awesome. I love seeing that. However, it's like we tracked him to the warehouse that he was in, and we investigated that room, and then he's not in there, and then we go through the wall, and then we go down, and then we investigate that, and then we go somewhere else. Like, I felt like, there's a little bit too much detective stuff, and then we had to analyze the scene and the pool table room, whatever, and like, I felt like I was doing a lot of the crime scene detective stuff. And again, it's not that there was a problem that I wasn't punching people enough, it was just like I felt like I was doing a lot of that. But that was really my only complaint for the episode, and again, it was only an issue, it's not really an issue, I don't know, just me nitpicking, I guess, for this episode. But let's talk about the 5th and final episode of the game in terms of story. And the final fight in this scene is what really makes, in this episode, really makes the episode, but in a way almost like the season to me, because it was like the grand finale that we were all hoping for. It's just a brutish brawl between Vicky Vale and Bruce Wayne, and it was, in my game, between Bruce Wayne and Vicky Vale. I did not take off the mask. I have no clue what happens if you don't. I'm really interested to see. And maybe Alfred gets hurt permanently. Maybe his ear gets blown off instead of Bruce Wayne's, and that's the side effect of that. That would be really interesting. But then at Bruce Wayne, you feel responsible for that. So I have the sort of perspective of like rather me than him when it comes to Alfred, because he's like my daddy, my second dad, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that that's the way it ended out. In regards to the finale, again, the final fight scene, Jared Emerson Johnson, I believe is his name, does the music for Telltale games. It is the best that I've ever seen him, and I was, complimenting him so much throughout this episode, and I complimented him so much in episode 4, and the closet scene, as I like to call it, probably not the best I should call it, but when we get, I call him Duke, the Vicky Vale's, or brother, I guess, underneath the stairs, and I think he's Duke, who is the current sidekick of Batman in Rebirth and late New 52, etc. And I think that he might be Robin in the future. I do think so. But anyway, this kid and the music that played over that was just so amazing. The main menu music is so good. I love the music throughout this game so much. It's probably the best work that he's done, in my personal opinion. In this episode in particular, it really shines. I mean, just the epicness that comes through. He's got like the chorus going in the background, which he normally doesn't do. And I'm a big guru for music and games and film and that sort of thing. I don't know anything about it, but I like it, I guess I should say. I'm a fan of it. And I really appreciated what Jared Emerson Johnson did in this episode. And it really added to the epicness. And the final fight scene, I think, maybe wouldn't have worked if there was, some lousy-ass, I don't know, like basic beat going on in the background. But it was epic. It was epic, and it really added to the fight and made it what it was. An amazing, amazing final eclipse of that, sort of storyline. And it's really interesting to see how this came to a conclusion, because in episode 4, we sort of put up either Harvey or we put up Penguin. And then at the beginning of this episode, we put the other way. And then after that, we deal with Catwoman. So it's like I was getting giddy, and that's what I love about this episode, is the way it's crafted, is that that you're building up to the big stuff the whole way through. You know that that's where you're going, because you sort of close out the side story arcs as the episode goes on, with the Penguin, with Two-Face, with Catwoman. Not that those are unintriguing, because they are very intriguing in their own ways. And, it was great to see those and how those wrapped up. But nonetheless, we were all wanting to get to Vicky Vale, because she wasn't really in episode 4, so we wanted to see where that went. And indeed we did at the end of episode 5, that is for damn sure. And that's what I loved, is like just the building action. My eyes were glued to the screen the entire time this episode was going on. And I think this episode was a little longer than the other ones, which I was happy to see as well. So overall, guys, I loved this episode. The action scene at the end was what really sold it for me. And it really encapsulated the big ideas that I think this game set out to sort of emulate or portray, and that is, is Bruce Wayne Batman, or is Batman Bruce Wayne? Who is the real guy? Is the real guy Batman, or is Bruce Wayne the facade? Is Batman the facade? Which is it, And that is the big idea that you explore in the catacombs, as I like to call them, underneath Arkham. I don't know what they are, with Vicky Vale. And it's also the big decision that you make before you go to the, the meeting with, or I guess the press event with Commissioner Gordon. And I'm so happy I can finally say Commissioner Gordon. And I think that the way this episode ended was so exciting for the prospects of a season 2. Not only with the Joker, but in what happened with Jim Gordon and him being promoted to Commissioner. And it's just so exciting. I cannot wait to talk about season 2 for you guys. Season 1 was absolutely amazing. I'll review that in depth in the future. And episode 5 for me was just a big win. So yes, the high points of this episode was really the resolution of the conflict between Vicky Vale and Bruce Wayne, and also the Joker's brief cameo in the episode, I thought was really, really good as well. So anyway, guys, I hope you'll have enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought about the 5th episode of Batman the Telltale series, which is called City of Light. I'm pretty sure I might have gotten it wrong again. I definitely got it wrong in the last one, and people made sure to let me know in the comment section below, which is a good thing, but I do read all the comments, so once one person leaves it, I have seen it at that point. Okay, anyway, guys, hope you'll have enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.